Adrian, Hickmon football. Talk about coming to Harding. Why did you choose to come and play football for the Bisons?
Well, I'd gone to church with Coach Brock and Coach Johnson for, I guess, since I was in upper elementary school and at Westside Church of Christ. And they had talked to me a lot. But probably the reason was I was in love with Joanna Webb, and she came to Harding, and I decided to follow her here. But I had friends that were here, people on the team. I had met guys all the way back to Don Sinkfield, and way back my dad was a barber, and when I was a little bitty boy I'd come in there, sweep up the shop and meet guys that were Bisons and stuff. So it was obviously the hand of God that kind of led it, a lot of different factors, but Joanna was probably the final one.
What about that 76 season? Talk about that 1976 AIC Championship team.
It was the year of our lifetime, I think. We were a very good football team, and we ended up finding ourselves 1-2 after 3 ball games, even though we were up by about 20 points in the 2 games that we lost. We had a really tight team of seniors, 18 of us, and 16 of us were going to school to become coaches. So we really had a mindset, very similar. And that season, we came out the 4th game, beat Henderson, and won the conference, by beating UCA, and then got to play Abilene at the end of the year in a bowl game. And
captain and starting defensive lineman on that team, what did that mean to you to be a captain on that team?
Well, a lot of different things that you get in life come for one reason or another, but to be elected captain by your teammates has got to be one of the greatest honors ever. And I had many brothers then that have been my brothers all my life on that team, and Joe Davis Smith and I were captains, and that was truly one of the best honors of my life.
Is there one game that sticks out as being the most memorable game for you at Harding?
Yeah, it would be that Henderson game. They were number 4 in the nation, and I think we were last in the conference. I guess if they had that, I don't even remember. But they had great players, great team. It was like 98 degrees on a Saturday afternoon, and just a bloodbath. And we beat them 20-15, and that was something that I'll never forget. Coach Brock talking to us in the end zone afterwards, one of the most emotional things I've ever experienced. So that was the one that we knew we were a good football team. We had different things happen in those 2 losses, but that one was the one that really put us where we felt like we should have been, and that we had fought for all off season to get there. So it was the game that if I think of one in my night, laying there in my sleep, that's the one I think about.
And after Harding, you signed a free agent contract in 1977 with the NFL's Washington franchise. What about that experience?
I was a guy that was not a great athlete, but I loved it, played hard, and I was smart, and I studied. And that year was George Allen's last year, which we didn't know that going into it. And I was injured reserve, not reporting, because I'd had a surgery during training camp, and went back the next year with Jack Pardee. And then a year later, 3 days with the Raiders. And the experience with Coach Allen was an awesome experience. He was a very good Christian man. He was not only the head coach, but also one of the 3 linebacker coaches. I did not like the atmosphere of the big dog-itis of, that a lot of guys, with the NFL, but I found some guys that were Christians. He was, and would have loved for that to have turned out differently, but I think it turned out the way it needed to, because that led me into coaching, and coaching was better than even being a player.
And to be inducted into the Harding Athletics Hall of Fame, what does that mean to you?
It's an honor for me like none other, but I also feel like it is something that is not just about me, because I remember the guys that played to my right and to my left and behind me, and you don't ever get to be a player just by yourself. And that's something that I'm proud to represent them. And then also coming in the same year with Huck. Huck and I have been best buds since, we were playing football here, and we coached together for many years and raised babies together and all that. So getting to do that together with them makes it special.